When humans first began farming and settled down in the first human establishments, they kept animals with them. Ever since man started building civilizations, animals helped him do it. Animals and humans share a symbiotic relationship from which both benefit off of. There are many kinds of relationships between animals and humans. Agricultural relationships. Animals such as buffaloes are used for the plowing of fields. Pigs are used to locate truffles, which are a kind of fungus. Ladybirds are used by farmers to keep aphids under control. Fishing relationships. On the Lijiang River in China, birds called cormorants are used to fish. The fisherman first ties a grass knot onto the neck of the bird. Then they let it go into the water. When the bird catches a fish it cannot swallow, it goes to the fisherman who pull the fish out of the bird's neck and reward the bird with smaller fish. Help relations. Many animals can be trained to help people. Assistance dogs can help people with disabilities. In places where there are avalanches, dogs are used to dig people out. There are many benefits of building bonds with animals. Studies have shown that keeping pets can increase the lifespans of human beings. There are many other benefits, some of which are decreased blood pressure, decreased cholesterol levels, decreased feelings of loneliness, and increasing opportunities for exercise and outdoor activities. Thank you. Now my friend Hania will continue.
Hi, I'm Loken, and the name of the story which I'm going to say is Grandfather and the Python, written by Ruskin Bond. The characters involved in the story. The characters involved in the story are grandfather, grandmother, Aunt Mabel, and Python. This story is about a grandfather's love for all animals life and intelligent grandmother's injections and Aunt's adventures with a python. Grandmother was tolerant of most birds and animals, but she drew the line at reptiles. She said they made her blood run cold. Grandfather should have known that there was a little chance of his being allowed to keep the python. It was about 4 feet long, a young one, when grandfather bought it from a snake charmer for 6 rupees. Impressing the bazaar crowd by slinging it across his shoulder and walking home with it, grandmother nearly fainted at the sight of the python called round grandfather's throat. You'll be strangled, she cried. Get rid of it once. Nonsense, said grandfather. He's only a young fellow. He'll soon get used to us. Will he indeed, said grandmother, but I have no intention of getting used to him. You know quite well that your cousin Mabel is coming to stay with us tomorrow. She'll leave us the minute she knows there's a snake in the house, said grandmother. Well, perhaps we ought to show it to her as soon as she arrives, said grandfather, who did not look forward to Fuzzy and Mabel's visit any more than I did. You'll do such a thing, said grandmother. Well, I cannot let it loose in the garden, said grandfather. With an innocent expression, it might find its way into the poultry house, and then where would we be? How experting you are, grumbled grandmother. Look the creature in the bathroom, go back to the bazaar and find the man you bought it from, and get him to come and take it back. In my grandfather had to take the python into the bathroom where he placed in a steep-sided tin tub. Then he hurried off to the bazaar to look for the snake charmer. When he returned looking crestfallen, we knew he had not been able to find the man. You had better take it away yourself, said grandmother in a relentless mood. Leave it in the jungle across the riverbed. All right, but let me give it feed first, said grandfather, and producing a plucked chicken, he took into the bathroom. Grandfather threw open the door and stepped into the bathroom. We could not see the python anywhere. He is gone, announced grandfather. He must have felt hungry. Well, we left the python in the jungle for him. He was hungry too. He ate the chicken and then went to sleep. Aunt Mabel arrived next day for a 3-week visit, and for a couple of days, grandfather and I were a little apprehensive in case the python made a sudden reappearance. But on the third day, when he did not show up, we felt confident that he had gone for good. And then towards evening, we were startled by scream from the garden. Second later, Aunt Mabel came flying up the veranda step, looking as though she had seen a ghost. In the guava tree, she gasped. I was reaching for a guava when I saw it starting at me. The look in its eyes, as though it was to devour me. Calm down, my dear, our grandmother. Calm down and tell us what you saw. A snake, sobbed Aunt Mabel, a great boa constrictor. It must have been 20 feet long in the guava tree. Its eyes very terrible. My grandparents looking significantly at each other. And grandfather said, I'll go and kill it, and sheepishly taking hold of an umbrella sailed out into the garden. But when he reached the guava tree, the python has disappeared. After this incident, the python began to make a series of appearances, often in the most unexpected places. Aunt Mabel had another fit of hysterics. When she saw him admiring her from under a cushion, she packed her bags and grandmother made unintensify the hunt. Next morning, I saw the python good curled up on the dressing table, gazing at his reflection in the mirror. I went for garden, but by the time we returned, the python had moved elsewhere. A little later, he was seen in the garden again. Then he was back on the dressing table, admiring himself in the mirror. Evidently, he had become enamored of his own reflection. Grandfather said about preparing a large cage with mirror at one end. In the cage, he left a juicy chicken and various other delicious and fitted up the opening with a trapdoor. Aunt Mabel had already left by the time we had it trap ready. But we had to go on with the project because we could not have the python prowling about the house indefinitely. For a few days, nothing happened, and then, as I was leaving for school one morning, I saw the python curled up in the cage. He had eaten everything in sight. I looked out of the mirror, something resembling a smile on his face. I lowered the trapdoor gently, but the python took no notice. He was raptured over his handsome reflection. Grandfather and the gardener put the cage in pony trap and made a journey to other side of the riverbed. They left the cage in the jungle with the trapdoor open. He made no attempt. Get out, said grandfather later. And I did not have the heart to take the mirror away. It's the first time I was sneak a snake fall in love. Now my friend Sedali will say about look around.
And the python. Because grandfather was a unique and he liked reptiles very much. So he liked snakes too. With him as pets. Because snake is poisonous. So they may afraid of snakes. So they do not like or not willing to uh, have a snake at home. Not all the peoples eat animals. It is based on their characters. Only animals which are dangerous to people they hate. I'm having some images. My friend Fauzia will continue.
Hi, I'm Luke Deep. Interesting fact about snake. Snakes can open their mouth up to 150 degrees, allowing them to eat things that are bigger than their own size. It has even been known for snakes to burst out after eating the prey that is too big for its stomach. It is found on every continent of the world except Antarctica. It has internal ears but not external ones. It can live for longer external ones, but eventually they will give out. Most pet snakes live for between 9 to 20 years, with the oldest reaching somewhere around 50 years. Superstition of snake. A snake in a house guard. If a snake is killed, thrown in water, and disappear, it is believed that there will be continuous rain and flood. As snakes shed their skin to sloughing, they are a symbol of rebirth, transformation, immortality, and healing. They are rubbed as a symbol of eternity, continual renewal of life. How can we protect animals? Educate your family about endangered species in your area. Recycle and buy sustainable products. Grow native plants. Reduce your water consumption. Reduce your personal footprints. Do not buy plastic products. Volunteer your time to protect the wildlife in your area. Pressure your civil servants. Thank you.
Thank you, children. Hope all enjoyed our Chrysalis Day and enjoyed Grandfather and the Python too. Thank you. Have a nice day.